It is Thursday, December 11th, 2014. Welcome, everyone, to the OG Cast, your clan broadcast for the original Guardians. This is episode 15. My name is Mike. You can find me on on Xbox Live. I am mikerocksmore. We are broadcasting live once again on Google Plus again. So welcome to any viewers we've got right now. Let's get to our panel. First off, let's talk to Nick here. How are you doing this week?
What's going on, guys? NastyDestroyer here. Doing good. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Next up, we've got Keith.
Hey, everybody. This is Keith. Gamer tag is Diknak. Happy to be here today.
Excellent. Next up, we've got my raid buddy. We've got Franz.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Boss DankSnake. Just playing a lot of Crota's End here, trying to get done with that raid first week. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that in depth here in just a sec here. Last, we've got Tyler here. How's it going this week?
It's going alright. Keeping busy on the PlayStation side, keeping things a little bit interesting.
Excellent.
Does Mike rock more?
For the record, I do. All right, guys, let's get right into it. And let's start with some Call of Duty stuff here first. Nick, why don't you give us a little updates on Clan Wars last weekend?
So yeah, Clan Wars was a pretty big success for OG. We stomped our competition, beat them by over 200 points. We had some issues with the clan app in the beginning. It was pretty hard to keep track of who was doing what, but thankfully Beachhead and the guys stuck to it, and they had it fixed on Saturday, and we totally took advantage of finally being able to see where we were. So yeah, we quickly took the lead on Saturday, and I know, speaking personally, I didn't even hardly log on at all on Sunday. We had the lead so much by that point that it was kind of a moot point for us to be on because we couldn't even get any more points. We literally captured every single node, so it was good times, and we got a lot of guys stepped up to the plate and have shown that they're actually going to be a really good addition to the game. Yeah, a 54 bracket, but we had over 60 guys play and win games, so definitely a bright spot for the future. I had a little bit of a spat with one of the dudes from Reddit Black, and he's in the 71 to 100 range, and I was just curious. I didn't know, and I asked him about his roster lock, and he told me the only one that matters, and I'm like, oh, okay, so 71 to 100, that's where we got to be, because that's the only one that matters. That's
well, according to him, right?
Division,
Yeah.
So, I was like, so exactly. So I was like, all right, man, we'll see you soon. So that's the mission now. We're working hard. I've already kicked a bunch of inactive members because we were already roster capped, but there's guys that haven't played in a week, so I got rid of them, and we're filling their spots tonight. We've already filled about half of them up. We're back to 90 members.
How many clans were in the division that you were in?
There's a total of 9. So
okay.
We were up against 8 other clans, and the next closest clan was, like I said, the final score was 321 to 98, I believe. So yeah, we beat them, beat them over 200 points.
That's a whooping.
Yeah, it is.
Considering the largest amount of points you can get at any given time is about 17, yeah. So we crushed it.
Excellent.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. There was a lot of skepticism in the beginning. I even had a couple guys come to me and say that I couldn't run the clan and stuff, and I was like, well, it'd help if we had a working app, So once that app started working,
everyone's a critic, man. I wouldn't take that to heart.
Oh no, of course, and we had a nice talk with said I didn't know what I was doing and stuff. We had a talk. I talked to him. Obviously they're still in the clan, so they believe in what I got to do here and what we all have to do here to be successful. So, yeah, just working on getting everybody on the same page.
Now, do you have another Clan Wars this weekend?
No, it's every other weekend. So this weekend's off, and then next weekend we should have another one. But Beachhead likes to throw a monkey wrench in there every once in a while. So I've went a couple times where we didn't even have one for 2 or 3, 4 weeks in a row. So it just depends. We're kind of at the mercy of Beachhead, but I always want us to be prepared for that following week after to be ready. So
downtime gives you some time to recruit and clean up the roster.
Yep. Fine tuning. That's what me and Wally Cronkite were talking about. I got another clan war to fine tune because I really don't want to push to 71 to 100 until the Diamond Division, and we need to win one more clan wars in order to get to the Diamond Division. But
gotcha.
It's definitely helping in the recruiting area because when you're running around with the exosuit, the Centurion exosuit, and somehow a couple of my guys actually got 2 pieces. I'm not sure how that happened. I guess maybe somebody said they were doing some favors for somebody at Sledgehammer or something, but we'll see. But
well, I saw
it's all about
on Twitter that everyone who participated got 1 piece, and then the top 2 teams got another. So,
yeah, see, I don't know how it worked out. I know I ended up getting the exosuit, so I'm happy enough with that. I mean, it just proves that we won our first clan wars because there's no naysayers now because, the people from Ghost, when you left Ghost, if you won your last clan wars, you could actually get the exosuit. So most of those people, there were some people already running around with the exosuit. But now there's no doubters. We've got it. We won our first clan wars, and that definitely helps with recruiting and getting more prospects because, hey, people want to join the winners. And I've already had a few hit me up and say, hey, I'm in a gold clan, blah blah. We do clan wars, but we lost, so I want to join yours. So, it helps. So we'll definitely
That's good.
We'll definitely fill the roster up. I'm not worried about that.
Excellent. Have you had a chance to play with that new DLC gun that came out today?
No, I actually did not buy the expansion. I wasn't going to get taken on this one like I did in Ghosts. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna buy it next week. So once the new map packs are out, I'm definitely gonna get it. But yeah, I'm not in any rush to try this laser gun that they got. I really didn't like any of the new advanced warfare laser combat guns that they have right now. Anyway, not impressed.
Well, from what I heard, it's actually pretty good. That's why
they're fun in private matches. They're fun in private matches because you're all just like slamming each other with beams. That's pretty cool. But you got to drop all your shields down because they don't do much damage. And I don't know, just not that impressed.
Cool. Well, I don't have a lot of other Call of Duty news this week, so how about we switch over to Halo quickly? Got a new patch on Monday, something like that.
Yeah. There was a patch that was pushed on Sunday that was quite a large update. And I know they fixed a lot of the matchmaking problems that they were having. A large portion of the patch was specifically for matchmaking. I did notice one thing that was happening less often was the mismatched teams, like the uneven teams. Beforehand, like you could end up like a 6-on-3 and a 5-on-4, like it was very, very common. And now out of all the games I played since then, I think there may have been 1 or 2 where it was an uneven team. But other than that, it seemed to be working out really well. And I think that there are still some issues that we ran into when running with a party. So we ran with 3 additional people, and still there were some quirks that we were trying to overcome as we were trying to get into games. But I felt getting into games was better. Still games aren't utilizing the dedicated servers, which is also another pain point. So.
For sure.
Yeah, still lots of room for improvement, but I mean you can definitely tell that they're making headway. They're pushing patches out every single week, so it's not something that's getting getting left in the.
Now, Sam was saying.
Oh,
sorry, you broke up, Nick. What was that?
Yeah. Sam was saying something about how the 343 guys were really good at certain things, but they didn't seem to be good at the server structure and stuff like that, so that they're not good at the multiplayer stuff. And then, is it true that they hired some, they brought some people from within the Microsoft organization at the top end to start working on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was Phil Spencer.
So a lot of heads rolled is basically what I'm going with.
Yeah, and I know Phil Spencer had mentioned that they had Xbox Live engineers in there to try to help them resolve some of those issues. So I mean, I don't know where it really broke down. I mean, at the end of the day, the game should have been delayed probably till like February or March or something like that. But I think that I would imagine that it was a lack of resources, because I mean, you look at the game and they outsourced all of the development for it, whether it's to Blur or to Certain Affinity or the other studio that they outsourced it. I mean, they didn't do much of the work for the Master Chief Collection, since you can tell they're really focused on Halo 5. So I don't know if they didn't allocate enough resources to it, or if it really was truly something that they didn't expect. But I mean, even aside from the matchmaking issues, there are so many bugs that are in the game. Like you can't really believe that everything was a shock to them.
Did they is the Halo 5 beta, is that going to be on separate servers?
From what it sounds like it's going to be on a separate build, so it's not going to be within the Master Chief Collection. So you're going to download it as its own client. So
I guess that's the real test for them, right? Because that's their baby.
Yeah,
they didn't outsource that part.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as long as I would hope that like the whole networking, the matchmaking issues that are plaguing the Master Chief Collection are not happening with Halo 5, and I think that will be the real test, right? I mean, if the Halo 5 beta goes off without a hitch, then I think that Halo 5 has a solid chance of being a success.
You were talking about some of the glitches in the matchmaking. Can you give some examples? Because I haven't really touched it much at all. What's going on there?
It's changed throughout the process. Like a lot of times, like you would start the matchmaking and then you would sit there for 5 minutes before it would find a game. That's really gone away. I mean, I find matches within like 30 seconds. So the length of time in searching, that problem has pretty much gone away. Since there were also some other issues where there would be 10 people in a lobby, and it would, instead of putting it 5-on-5, it would be 6-on-4 or 7-on-3, or just some crazy things that were happening. And just behind the scenes when it comes to setting teams and things like that. So that was happening. There was also problems of if you're in a party, then people in your party will be thrown on the opposite team. Even playing split screen, so you're playing split screen and the other person gets thrown on the opposite team. So
Gotcha.
there were just really random things. Playing alone is almost perfect. Like if you play alone, you're probably gonna have a good time. It's when you're playing with 2, 3, 4 people, that's when you start to see these problems, because as soon as one person has a problem, it delays everybody.
Show of hands, who bought this to play by themselves?
Yeah, so what you're saying
I
is
didn't see any hands.
You gotta have friends. No, friends are a bad thing to have. That's what I'm getting from you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that every patch has increased the playability with parties. On release, it was completely unplayable with other people. Like you couldn't even do it. But since then, it's definitely playable now.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, they seem to be fixing it, and you're not having many problems. I've heard a couple people have had some problems still. So
yeah, it's absolutely, it's not fixed.
Head and shoulders better than it used to be. So
Yeah, it's not done. It's not fixed. They're so it's not like you can say, okay, we're back. It's something where it's something that's it's going to take still a few more patches for it to really be ironed out.
They seem committed, so that's definitely a good thing. So, but yeah, current theme. We're waiting patiently, or not. All right, well, let's get to the big news of the week here. Obviously, Destiny Dark Below Expansion 1 came out on Tuesday. Did you guys have to go through any big downloads or anything to get this, but to start things off here? Or?
Oh, really?
It seemed like they had already front-loaded that.
Yeah, there's most of that was all in that giant, like the big one that was it 2 or 3 weeks ago that popped out. I feel like that pretty much had everything in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was only a couple of gigabytes still. So, and from my past experience looking at for example, Call of Duty, DLC, back in it ranged from anywhere from 2 gigs to 6. I think I saw at one point. So.
Well, I mean, it depends on how many unique assets are created. I mean, you look at the game at the DLC, and they reused a lot of assets. So it definitely makes sense why there wasn't a huge download.
Well, it was all on the disc, right?
Yeah, that's the way it's certainly.
All right, let's end it there.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's troll Bungie, guys. All right. Well, okay, well, moving on. What do you guys think so far? Good? Bad?
I'm loving it so far.
I think I think the content's engaging. I think the increase in level cap was unnecessary.
I agree with that.
They didn't need to increase the level cap to get people to play. I mean, at the end of the day, people would still be enjoying the content if they didn't increase the level cap.
Yeah, I was frustrated by that, especially with the fact that, they say you can trade in your exotics, and again, we don't know till tomorrow morning all of the details, but they say you're going to have to re-upgrade all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like you're going to get all the stuff you put in there back out of it,
No, you won't. I think that I think there's something that they could have done that really would have helped, because I mean, one thing when you reset your exotic, it gives you something to grind, so you're redoing your exotic progression. And I think that there was an alternative that they could have done, and kind of how Murmur, where you can switch between arc and solar damage. I think that's a really interesting mechanic, and I think they could have had Zur sell like a gem or something, so you could take your Suros and you could outfit it with an arc damage gem, and then that would reset the progression for arc damage, and then you can add a solar one, and that would reset it for solar. And I think that they really could have done some unique mechanics there, so they didn't have to increase the level cap while still allowing players to progress.
It's a great idea.
I don't know though with that though, is you just have everybody running around with an icebreaker with all 3 elements on it. At least it still adds gun variety that you need to have.
Well, you could limit it. You could limit it to 2, so you only have 2 damage types, and you could also, I mean, the perks are also something that's huge to the exotics. It's not just the damage types; it's what the guns actually do. So.
I don't know. I feel like they could have just as easily, had us. They say you have to buy, like an exotic shard to be able to trade in your thing to Zur or whatever is what I've heard. And I don't know all the details. Won't get it all figured out till tomorrow. But I feel like if you're going to do that, if you do the exotic shard, why can't they just, if what the perks are going to be don't change, then why couldn't they just bump that up to the new damage max or whatever instead of making you go through everything else all over again?
Well, it's an artificial time sink.
About.
Yeah, it's just it's to give you a time sink to something to grind.
You really need more grinding in this game, though. Like I got my helmets to get to 30 on Saturday night. I ground the rest of the weekend and Monday night to get to 30, so I could start the raid on Tuesday. And of course, when Tuesday hits, I can start grinding again to get to 31.
Yeah.
How long did that take you, Mike?
It was a few hours.
Huh?
It was a few hours, I only have the one character, right? So it's not like I could switch off gear and do the daily twice and all that kind of stuff. So it took me a few hours to do it, and I obviously got it. And it's definitely a requirement for getting into the Crota. But yeah, there's a lot of grinding, and I honestly thought originally that the way that they were going to be allowing you to upgrade your gear was like something like a little stone or a gem or something that you can purchase that would allow you to increase the light on your current set of armor. But I think that would have been a nice alternative rather than having to go through it all again. But
yeah, I think
I'm not cheated though. I'm not.
I think what really is the burn is it's only 3 months after release. Like, are we expecting every 3 months when they release a new DLC to start over from square one to reset all of our exotics? And like, is this a common theme to get 2 new currencies every time and to get more new materials? So it's just,
God, I hope not.
I mean, it just seems like it's they're forcing you to grind forward and then kicking you back in order to make you feel like there's progression, but really they're kicking you back in order to to invoke that feeling of progression. So I
make you keep playing.
I really, really hope they change their strategy, because I don't think it's something that's sustainable.
Not at all. I agree with that.
What they should have done is had more exotic weapons and then just made everything else legacy. So if you want to advance, you got to get the new weapons instead of going back.
Kind of like what Star Wars is doing.
Yeah, I mean, typically MMOs, when they release a level cap, you don't take your current you don't take your current items and upgrade them. Like, you're finding new items to replace them. But again, like that level cap increase doesn't happen 3 months after release. Yeah. It's most MMOs, it's 2 years after release where they finally start doing that level cap increase.
It would make more sense to me to increase the level cap, like, third, fourth expansion sometime, again, like you said, to further down the line, to where, you're not making people grind and have, especially like with the exotic, being you can only have one, it's supposed to be like the best you can get, and you have to go back and re-upgrade it to make it to where it actually is, usable again.
Yeah.
And they say they've made the exotics easier to upgrade now, which I can neither confirm nor deny. I'm sure they have done it, but at the same time, like before, those of us who took the time to actually upgrade these things prior, to that last patch, it wasn't a quick thing. So I don't know. I'm not really for the slight increase myself, but
yeah.
Another thing I don't really think can, at least the way that they've changed the weekly and the nightfalls up to 30 as well. Like, they're just forcing the community, to get the best rewards, you have to get to 30 at least, when probably a very small percentage of the community is actually 30.
Well, I don't think that will be an issue, because I think that 30 is the new 28, right? So a lot of people were 28. So give it another week or so, and everyone's going to be 30, and just a few people are going to be 32. So I don't think it makes that big of a deal. I think it's really just the first 2 weeks is when people are going to miss out on the nightfall, because they haven't ranked up enough yet. And that's kind of like what it was at launch too. Most people didn't run the nightfall the first 1 or 2 weeks just because they weren't there yet.
Well, and that's fair. But like, even the weekly had, the weekly's even changed now, so you can either do the weekly at 26 or you can do it at 30.
Right.
And that's a huge spread there.
Yeah, I think they should have kept the 28. If anything, bump off the bottom one and then move everything up 2 levels. But
yeah,
they shouldn't have made it 26 to 30. It should have been, 30, 28, 26.
Yeah, I agree.
I did the daily when I was still... Go ahead.
I was going to say, the weekly it was like 24, 26, 28, so you'd think they'd move it up just a little bit, so it was like 26, 28, 30, like Franz said, it would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, and like if you buy one piece of gear, aren't you already at 25, 26? Like one Vanguard piece of gear. I think you'd be there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that.
I don't know, but I would assume. Because they even upped I noticed they upped the light level on rare gear. So I really don't think.
Yeah, like just even the stuff, because I didn't have raid stuff, like, and so I just bought like 2 new things to replace the things I hadn't got raid gear wise, and all of a sudden I'm over 30.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a perfect system, obviously. I don't know. Like, who do you make a game for? Do you make the game for the hardcore minority or the more casual majority? And
I think that's always the balance. I mean, you look at every MMO and throughout history, and it's the same question that's always asked, right? Because I mean, you have that hardcore that's doing the raiding, and then you have the vast majority that aren't doing the raiding. So I think that and it's an age-old question, but it's a little different because with MMOs, with monthly fees, for example, or continuous revenue streams like microtransactions, you have to cater to the mass majority because they keep the lights on.
Yeah, but even so, a lot of MMOs are geared more towards the hardcore when you talk about like 40-man raids and whatnot.
Yeah, but again, like that kind of content is a minuscule part of what they release when it comes to new content.
True.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the biggest issue is a lot of my friends are real casual players, and I don't get many of them to play because, like, again, a lot of them are, like, upset with a lot of the new content. It's like, they don't have, all these hours to put in grinds. They're going to miss out on the stuff for a few weeks before they ever get there. So.
Yeah. Maybe with the raid, too.
I think the biggest thing that I take away from these games is, are they enjoyable? Are they entertaining me? Then I'll just put up with the other bullshit along the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question comes along, though, is in Destiny 2, your character is going to progress. It's going to carry over to Destiny 2. So if you stop, if you say, okay, well, I'm tired of constantly grinding, then is that a point where you can say, well, I might as well not even pick up Destiny 2 now because it's just going to carry forward, and I'm already going to be behind.
They can't let that happen, right? They got to give a way to catch up. You're not going to have all the gear that the people had who played all along, but you'll at least be able to catch up level-wise quickly. You might not have all the great guns.
It's just going to be like, wow, you're gonna go do a quest or in the very next Destiny 2, and you're gonna replace every freaking piece of gear you've been holding on to forever.
Well, I mean, and that's the question, because I mean, you can say, yeah, they can catch up, but look at these games that have been out there for forever, like wow, what, the level cap is 90 or something? A new player getting to 90, that is one hell of a feat.
Not anymore. You can literally take a tune from 1 to 90 in like a week now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They make everything before the newer content just obsolete. You really don't even need to do it. You can level 100 different ways too. You don't even have to do the quests. You don't have to do that stuff. You can do straight PvP. Just other ways of leveling up. I mean, there's package deals now that you can just. I'm gonna purchase 90.
Yeah. And I think that
today from Blizzard, it's gonna happen.
But even in Destiny now, I mean, you could just grind Vanguard gear and get to 31. So the same thing that we did prior to the expansion to get to 28, we could do to get to 31. So you already have that kind of catch-up portion.
Yeah,
think of it exactly like that. Yep.
Yeah, I think that that the whole light level really does solve a lot of that problem, because now you're always going to grind traditionally up to 20, and then based on when you're playing, somebody might come from 20 and then might jump straight to 30 after they get their Vanguard gear, versus we jumped to 27 when we got our Vanguard gear.
Exactly.
Also, I think something else. I'm sorry, Phil.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think something else to take away from this is you can actually level up and not have to purchase the expansion pack either. I mean, basically buying the content, the rating content, the strikes, the new missions, the new stuff. But the new gear is still, available to people that don't have the expansion pack. So,
yeah, the DLC is definitely not required, and at this point, I don't even know if it's worth it.
I enjoy the rating part of it, and being able to do the new maps and stuff on multiplayer eventually will be fun. But I see where you're coming from.
I feel you on that, though. I feel like they didn't. I mean, to make you spend the money on the DLC, but then to not make it exclusive content other than just the new maps. And I mean, I think I'm the only guy here on the PlayStation Network side, and I have the extra strike. But even that, I mean, you're just fighting the Nexus Mind on in the Black Garden. Like, it's nothing special in my mind. Well, so I don't know.
But if you think about it, it's actually a genius marketing tool, because the people that are hardcore and going to do the routes to get all the shiny stuff, or get to do the new missions and the new bounties and all that junk. I mean, people that want the newest shinies and who want to do the newest raid content and strikes, they're going to purchase it for $20. I mean, I might not have purchased this stuff if I didn't already had purchased it, but maybe a friend of mine purchases it, and I'm like, oh, well, crap, now I gotta purchase it because he's got all the cool shinies, and now I gotta get these cool shinies.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it.
It's a genius marketing scheme, man, is make their money.
No, the genius marketing scheme was selling the Digital Guardian Edition and making all of us chumps buy the season pass.
Well, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's exactly what I'm saying.
One thing also that I don't get is why, like the new maps, they're not in the controlled playlist. Like you can only play the new maps if you do the deathmatch.
That's going to rotate constantly, they said.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Like,
stupid.
That's so stupid. Throw them into control. Put all of them into control into the single playlist, and then people that don't have the DLC hit a different, queue of people than people that do have the DLC. Like, why? Like, why have this rotating playlist of just the new maps? It's just crazy.
Well, even in Call of Duty, that's how that works. Is when they release new maps, you have a new DLC playlist, and then you have a regular playlist where you never get the new maps.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got to split them out for ease of matchmaking purposes.
Exactly.
But I mean, most of your points I agree with.
Yeah, I mean, I said this a few podcasts ago. The multiplayer map should never be part of a DLC in a game like this. You have a lot of content to draw on, story missions, raids, and stuff like that. Release multiplayer maps to everybody, so you're not splitting the community. Because
my personal opinion would be, I think it would be better, like you said, if you release the multiplayer maps to everybody, and then just give like the new gear, the new weapons, and like the story missions, give that to the DLC.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're going to run into those people in the Crucible and be like, crap, I want that. And that's, I mean, in my mind, that would be a better marketing ploy than giving it to everyone. That's
genius right there.
Yeah, and I think that you can kill two birds with one stone doing that. And I think that the splitting the community, the people that buy the DLC and people that don't, in terms of the multiplayer, I think that it's running down a bad road, especially after the second DLC hits, and now you've got people split into three different camps. So
true.
Yeah.
We'll see where they go with it.
I mean, I think it should be all separate content, and you shouldn't have to necessarily charge for the multiplayer. I mean, how popular really is Destiny's multiplayer? I don't think it's quite up there with, some of its predecessors and Call of Duty and stuff. So
yeah, compared to
why
Call of Duty
even
and Halo,
charge for that crap? Give us that stuff for free and let us experience, what Bungie's all about. I mean, that was what Halo was all about, was multiplayer and getting all your friends together. At least it would be, at least we could keep a group together, and it'd be crushing the market in multiplayer if they give us new stuff, fresh content, fresh matchmaking games, different objective games. If I had Capture the Flag and let's do different stuff like King of the Hill and shit. I would be on that game right now playing it, but it's control and it's skirmish if you're lucky or whatever, It's stupid. Like, cater to those people and get them involved in the multiplayer, and then you're going to get more people involved in the other side of things, where they see a guy with different gear from raids and stuff like that and looking sweet. They're going to be like, oh, I got to pay for that now. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Bungie's focus from day one has always been the more PvE side of the house.
Yeah.
It's always been like that. The Crucible is designed in its entirety to be what you do in between.
Yeah, and I mean that's different.
It's a shame.
Yeah, that's not what Bungie has done traditionally, and I think that there's a lot of people that do get into Destiny because of the multiplayer. Because they do have a very compelling mechanical side to the Crucible. I think that it works really well. It's just lacking that content. I mean, that's what we keep saying about pretty much every aspect of the game, but and I think the Crucible is no exception to that.
I don't know. As far as content goes, and just story mission wise, the newest, like the new story missions and stuff, is the best bit of story I think we've gotten out of the game. Period. The entire time. I mean, I could be wrong, but in my mind, like, it's the first time we've actually had any bit of story is with the expansion. I don't know if that's them trying to realizing we haven't done anything with this yet, and they're coming back and like, okay, we need to fix this issue, because obviously I know we're not the only ones who've been saying it, but at the same time, I said, like Nick said too, I mean, it made more sense to, put a little more effort into the PvP and you could draw more people in, and they're going to go to the PvE side if you make a lot of that content, exclusive to DLCs and stuff, you're going to make more money. You pull them in with the PvP, which I think is going to pull a lot more people in. And you pull them in that way, and I think they'd make a lot more money. You'd have a lot bigger community. But again, I'm not the one running the show.
Well, I guess the argument also is, though, when it comes to multiplayer, you're going to have certain people that play that, or vice versa, people that are thinking about doing the raiding and not even give a crap about the PvP. I mean, I like them both, personally. And I would do more multiplayer if there was more of a community and different types of games to play and things like that. And you just if they drew me into the multiplayer more, I would go there more. But they're drawing me more into the raiding and the PvE inside of things. But I don't know.
Well, it's definitely where Bungie.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're all victim to what Bungie wants us, and Bungie wants us to do the raid.
Right.
And speaking of which,
which is pretty fun, I gotta say.
Yes, it is.
Lots of fun.
Yes, it is. They've.
I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's quite a different experience this time. Of course, the Hyper is quite different than the Vex. So let's break down the raid a little bit here. Let's try and keep spoilers to a minimum here, but.
All props to you guys to getting the Crota, by the way.
Shit.
No,
Alright. Okay. It's
first full clan group, right? To get there.
Yep.
We already laid the gauntlet down for my group.
It's something else.
Yeah, we were talking today. We're like, we're no way we're letting Franz and Mike get Crota down before us. Not happening.
Well, you have till Sunday.
I know. We'll be going back in there Sunday too. We're gonna hit at it early. So.
Race to the finish. Yeah, no, it's been pretty good. Like, we've got about probably just under 7 hours under our belts in there now, and yeah, we've gone in completely blind. No idea of what we need to do, and just figuring out along the way. So, definitely been a really rewarding experience, at least for me. So,
yeah, lots of fun. Yeah. I mean, it's
rewarding and frustrating.
They've outdone themselves to me. I mean, I thought we were going to see the same tired. We're going to see the same tired old stuff on the moon. It's exact same crap. But when you first run in there and all them freaking thralls are coming out of the darkness, and it's just like, oh, this is sick.
I'm just so glad it's completely different mechanics than Vault of Glass. That would have disappointed me, and I would have been done with the game if that was the case.
Right.
I agree completely. But again, they said that they had going into each raid so far, they've had a different theme, and the theme of the Vault of Glass, which I mean, if you do it, it makes sense. Is descent. You're descending all the way down to the Atheon, whereas and I don't remember what they said this one was, other than I think something to do with darkness or whatever. And you go into the new raid, and you're just immersed, and you're like, well, here we go, because all hell's about to break loose. So
right. You're immersed in the darkness, and it starts to weigh down on you, and it's just like you look at your little buff, and you're like, oh man, I can't jump, I can't run, I can't sprint.
Yeah, there's 10,000 trolls jumping on me right now too. So.
Yeah, I haven't.
Man, they just keep
I have
coming.
yet to go in there, but I plan on stepping in maybe next
It's
week.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm only 29 now. I still need to get up to 30.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a lot easier to get to 30 now, though. With the
it's real easy, I thought, to get to 30. I mean, just being able to buy a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I got the item that I need. I got the item I need. I just need to rank it up.
And you need to be 30 to get in there. Let's not kid ourselves. It is a hard go even at 30. So
I got the bridge to come out. I was 29 at the time I got the bridge to come out. We had 3 29s and 2 31s and a 30.
Oh.
But it took us, just to get through that little part and get the bridge to come out, took us 4.5 hours. So, not saying I was proud of how long it took, but I mean, you can do it, but have a good time, guys.
Just the change in damage you do is just incredible. So yeah, you definitely want to be higher. The higher you are, the better off you're going to be. But again, that's kind of been the thing that's involved the glass as well. So, but yeah, they definitely made this. It's hard, And the higher, like I said before, they're a very different enemy than the Vex. They're all swarm you, and yeah, at that point, good luck. Because,
I know I pulled my shotgun for the first time ever in the raid. I pulled my shotty out and started just, crushing the thrall with that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of shotgun use in there too. So it's definitely there's definitely a use for it now, as opposed to just running around corners
and melee too.
Yeah, melee is definitely good for it. So
it's a lifesaver.
Yeah. Have you guys come across any bugs or glitches or anything so far?
I don't know if it's
cleaner
than... Yeah, I thought it was very clean, except for, I don't know if it was a bug, but that sword, when you're trying to cross the bridge, kept despawning sometimes without anybody touching it.
I think that had what happened to us one time, but I think something else happened one other time too. That might have been just a mistake to bridge or something, but I thought it was way cleaner than Vault of Glass, and there was no server problems that I saw, connection issues. I mean, we stayed in and were able to have solid attempts at it. Very few bugs. Great job.
I noticed a little bit of lag when a few instances when you 1 minute the thrall's here and the next minute he's way down over here and all that, but yeah, other than that, it's been pretty glitch free, I think.
Yeah.
Which is definitely good. So.
Yep.
But yeah, it's definitely a hard go, and I don't know how that team did it in 6 hours, but hats off to them. But
damn.
Yeah, I was impressed when I saw their time. I was like, I mean, I don't know if that was their first run through, but or if they had done a little bit, then went back and did the whole thing all at once, and that's how long it took them. So I'd be curious to see.
Well, according to Bungie, they got world first at 6 hours, so that's what they did.
You know what the second time was? Was it even close to 6, or was it a lot?
I'm not too sure what the second team got, but I know the third team got about 12.5 hours.
Did Streamer House get it down yet? Because I know they had said today they were getting it down for sure, but last time I had checked, and those guys are all really good. And together.
I haven't heard. On the Bungie
doing stuff together for a while and putting at it now.
In the Bungie update this week,
they
have the list of the top 10 teams, or the first 10 teams to finish. so you can kind of see how
Gotcha.
how they got links just to the stat level, or not stat level, but the breakdown, kills, stats, and so on for each team that went in there. So it's definitely been a lot of fun, and yeah, hopefully get her done on Sunday here. Take Crota down.
Yeah, guys, get it done so you can tell me what to do after the bridge.
Sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, I think that should pretty much wrap things up here. You guys got anything like that before we sign off?
I'll just say that we'll be running Crota again on Sunday, and you can check out our Twitch channel if you want to watch us stream it. Other than that, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, no, we got the links to our first two attempts in the show notes here as well, if you don't mind watching 7 hours of us banging our heads against the wall. But there are links there if you want to do that.
If you want to see us beat apart, just go to the very last couple minutes, and then everything else is us failing miserably.
Yeah, well, once we're all done here, we'll get
sometimes
some
watching
videos.
the failing can be just as much fun, though. So
Well, we had
sometimes
Learn
funny.
from others' mistakes.
a couple close attempts, like getting across the bridge, and the bridge just wasn't there. And our last guys fell twice.
Oh.
If Xbox Live could get Twitch party chat working, then it would be a lot more entertaining. I guarantee it.
Well, hell, we all just screamed like girls when we got through that first bit there. So.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that wasn't recorded. That was a little embarrassing.
No, they need to get that fixed. I think that would be a great addition.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And once
I would
once
love to hear Mike scream like a little girl. I mean, oh, that came out wrong.
Oh boy.
well,
Yo, I love your tags. Insert Canada joke here. What was the last one?
I don't know.
Drink when I change my name.
Yeah. Let's see how many followers, or how many of our clan guys are still sober when this thing ends.
You're crazy.
Yeah. And well, I guess one last thing. Once we do finish up our raid here, we will break up that video and try and get some clips up to YouTube for a little shorter viewing experience. Because a lot of these encounters, they don't take overly long themselves. So yeah, it's just a lot of attempts more than anything else. So, but yeah, if you do want to watch the whole thing, the links are in the show notes. And with that, I think we will sign off for the week here. Thanks everybody for listening, and yeah, we will be back next week, same time, 10:30 Eastern, if you want to watch us live. Otherwise, you can watch us on demand on YouTube, and we will have the audio out for our podcast listeners as well. Check us out on our website, originalguardians.net. Look us up on Facebook, Original Guardians.
Did you mention the Destiny, us calling the roster?
Oh yes, yeah, we are cleaning up our Destiny roster, as Nick just said. Basically, we'd like to get some active people going on there, and so if you're inactive, we don't want you taking up a spot for someone who wants to be active. So there's a post on the Bungie clan page, which we'll link to in the show notes. And there's a post on there. If you want to remain on the Destiny roster, please comment in there. Otherwise, after Sunday at midnight, between Sunday and Monday, we're kicking everybody who is not commented on there to free up some space. So if you want to remain on there, please just leave a comment on that thread there.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that should do it.
OG, baby.
All
right, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Take care, fellas.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week.